Hello there everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader Stephanie, and today's reading is about what's coming up next in love. We're going to see what the next chapter of your love life holds, regardless of whether you're single or in a relationship. This is actually going to be read for both. I'm going to have a section for singles and people in relationships and anyone in between. So we have 5 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have the flower agate. Pile 2, we have this lovely pistachio or ocean calcite. Pile 3, we have purple fluorite. Pile 4, we have a clear quartz tower. And pile 5, we have rose quartz. So take a few deep breaths, think about your love life, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the flower agate, then we have your reading here for you about what is next in love. We're going to see what's next in love for you. I am going to read this for both singles and people in relationships, and for those of you who are somewhere in between, you can take a mix and match of both of those energies. But we're going to start with the oracles to see an overall view of what's next in love, regardless of what's going on. So we're going to start with okay, my alarm just went off. Okay, there we go. So I don't know if there's some sort of alarm or something that is of like the timing. There could be the timing of something that is important here for those of you either in relationships, or maybe you're thinking about the timing of something. So that could be coming through. So the card you got is the 10 of Wands, responsibility and challenges. So I do feel for a lot of you, you could be going through this on your own personal journey, or there could be some responsibilities and challenges that you're dealing with a partner, for those of you who are already coupled. But let's go ahead and get your cards. I'm live shuffling everything today, because sometimes as I shuffle, I'll be getting a certain feeling. And maybe some of you are like opening up a lot more intuitively to your romantic needs or your partner's needs. We have intimacy. Allow yourself to become spiritually, emotionally, and physically intimate with one another. Real sensuality and sexuality aren't based on physical looks only. Your energy is what makes you attractive and sexy. So I do feel for a lot of you, there's this feeling of being really energetically attuned to the people around you. This could be my pile of people who, you know, maybe physical looks isn't a big deal when it comes to being attracted to somebody as much as energy. And this could include their personality. This could include like their mannerisms, or even like their voice. Think of like very sensual aspects of somebody, or even just the way they do things, the way they take charge, the way they make plans and follow through. I feel like for a lot of you, this is becoming a lot more attractive than somebody's pretty face or muscles or body or whatever here. So that could be something that a lot of you are going through. We also have this card. Oh, this is pretty. So this particular color scheme has been coming through, like shades of pink. And I don't always bring up colors, but I know some people intuitively attune to certain colors, like for those of you who are very visual, because I also had like a bunch of rose quartz in this. So this color could be like a power color for you when it comes to attracting love. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. Yeah, there's something here about not caring about the physicality of somebody and caring more about your memories, the things you do together. Again, that energy, that which is almost indescribable. It's like the feeling you get with somebody. I think a lot of you are tuning into this in the next chapter of your love life, or you already do this and it's just becoming more prominent, because I think you're either attracting somebody similar to this, somebody who also kind of just feels the vibes more than cares for the looks. I'm not saying that you don't look good, pile 1, but it's definitely caring less about appearances and caring more about how you feel around someone. We have yin yang dynamic. This is almost counterpart energy. This is also the number 35, in case that is an important number. This makes me think of two people who are very complementary with each other. I'm always surprised at the amount of people who get together who may not even have similar views, or they could seemingly come from opposite sides of the world or have very, very different cultures. But what matters most is how compatible they are. It's almost like all the superficial outer things don't matter. What matters is like the bond they share. I'm getting a little bit of this here with the complementary yin yang energy, the dynamic. And back of the deck we have cycles. Number 12, Ouroboros. This card makes me I mean, the word cycles in general makes me think of the song by Post Malone, Circles. Seasons change, and our love went cold. Feed the flame because we can't let go. That song itself is about letting go of a relationship because it's not working out. But with running in circles, it also makes me think of repeating cycles. So a lot of you could be breaking a cycle that maybe you've acknowledged and noticed that you are repeating. And what this is doing, it's breaking into this energy of liking somebody for their soul, liking somebody for their spirit, personality. And it's almost like that itself makes somebody really attractive to you. Which is funny because I've been bringing this up a lot with the people I've been talking to lately, like my friends. Like sometimes somebody is just, they're attractive on the outside, but I can't find them attractive myself because their soul is ugly, you know? Some people just have some very low vibrational, unenlightened, or just petty little souls. And it's like, yes, you on the outside, you look amazing, but on the inside, there's a lot of baggage there, or there's a lot of just toxicity. And I feel like some of you have already gone through that, or you want to avoid that kind of energy. So I feel like you're finally calling in somebody who meets you on a soul level, especially those of you who maybe at one point decided to go out with somebody more attractive. Because look, I get it. You can be heartbroken by anyone who looks in any way. That's got nothing to do with it. But it's really paying attention to how somebody makes you feel. We have overrate your intuition. Yeah, you're becoming very intuitive when it comes to relationships in this next chapter of your life, or in this next, in what is next here. So I'm going to leave this here. But overall, I'm getting that you're paying attention more to your energy. How does somebody make you feel? What do they bring out in you as well? Because it's one thing to like them for what's going on inside, but it's another thing to see, like, what side of you do they bring out? Again, I've just been talking a lot about relationships with people lately. And some people will bring out like this, you know, sexy, feisty, fiery side. But maybe that's not something that you like to be in all the time, 24/7. Maybe you prefer somebody who brings the calm, who brings the more sweet-natured person out of you. Especially those of you with many sides to yourself. It's like, what side of you do you like to see the most? I'm going to get one more card. We have Tiwaz, and I will read from the book for this because it's not a rune I get too often. I want to say it means, like it stands for victory or something similar to that. We have justice as a way of life, justice, leadership, self-sacrifice, will, and conviction. So for a lot of you, I feel like, I mean, this person that you're calling in could be a leader if you don't have somebody, or this could be you stepping into a leadership position. It also makes me think of, again, with justice, like things just being set right. And even with this card, it's like things balance out. If you've been going through like a bad luck streak in relationships, I feel like it's finally going to turn around. But that said, even if you have been having a good luck streak in relationships, I feel like whatever you've been having too much of, it's finally going to balance out. Because this Ten of Wands is like something has been going on for too long. It can't keep sustaining itself that way. Like the scales have to tip in the other direction at some point. That's just the natural order of things. So if you've been having too much of something that you don't like in your love life, I feel like it's finally going to turn around. So for those of you who are single, and you've been single for a long time, I feel like that's going to turn around because you're finally going to be getting either a partner who is like pursuing you that you may be really into, or you'll be getting a lot of romantic attraction. It's going to be hard for you to be alone. However, if it's the opposite, if you've been dating a lot and you just kind of want to leave it behind, you may get that solitude, that solace that you don't want to have to deal with somebody here. So take it as it resonates. I do feel like physical intimacy will be an important aspect as well. Even though this is talking about all forms of intimacy, I'm also taking into account the physical aspect of it. So with that said, let's move on to the tarot. And we're gonna use the Accurate AF Tarot for my pile. For my pile one. So the way I'm doing this, I'm going to do one side for singles and one side for people already in relationships. Again, you can take whichever, you may resonate with both sides. Maybe certain aspects of both sides call to you. You can do that. But I am going to intend one to be more for my singles and one for people already in a relationship. But let it fit whatever your needs need to fit. Maybe you resonate with both. Maybe you're in between. maybe you're one, but you kind of feel like the other. So for my singles, what's up next in love? Singles, we have the Hanged One, the Hanged Man, transition and sacrifice. We have the Queen of Swords, self-reliant and perceptive. I don't know if I want to take these reversed. They're coming out reversed, which is odd because it's a circular deck. Two of Wands, independence and achievement. Okay, so my singles, I feel like you're still staying single, or you're making it almost a case to stay single. Almost like you're kind of denying. It's like being on a diet, like you know, specifically from like junk food and sweets. It's like, oh, that looks delicious, but you keep going on. And we have justice, understanding, and karmic balance. There is this feeling that you kind of want to remain single because you keep finding reasons to be single. And I feel like you may try to view it from every perspective. Maybe you're even trying to like consider both sides. It's like, well, if I get in a relationship, this is what's going to happen. However, if I stay single, this is what's going to happen. So I see you going through the options in your mind, like trying to figure things out. Do I see someone approaching you? Yes, because the Two of Wands here is almost like one person trying to meet another person. Think of two wands, like literally two aces of wands, two very fiery energies coming through. However, I feel like these people approaching you don't really want anything serious, or are otherwise not, they're more physically available than they are available in any other way. So they wouldn't be emotionally or even financially available for some of you. So maybe this is part of the reason you decide to stay single. It's like you're weighing your options and your options are all not what you really want. So I feel like you're just rationalizing being single for now. That's what I'm getting. Very strongly, like almost even stubbornly single here with the Queen of Swords. I love the Queen of Swords. She's very intelligent, but she's also the least lovey-dovey of the queens. So let's go ahead and look at those of you in relationships. Because if this is what's coming through for the singles, is like they're happy single, then I'm curious about relationship people. So we have the Sun, positivity and abundance. This is Leo energy as well. We have the Seven of Swords. Ooh, something comes to the light. Or some sort of, I'm hearing something is aired out between you and your person. Or about your relationship if it's not between you and them. We have the Hermit. The Hermit reversed. And the Ten of Cups. Am I meant to take this reversed or... I think it's upside down. Okay, so I feel like you're going to find out something about your relationship. Like somebody here is not exactly happy with something, but I feel like it's something that can be overcome with the Sun here because the Sun is positive energy. So this would be like you and somebody have a disagreement, or there's something here about you and your person not seeing eye to eye. The Hermit reverse does let me know that maybe you or your person may have been going through a period where you just didn't want to do anything. This would be like staying inside or not going out, just Hermit energy, you know, not really wanting to progress the connection, but also just keeping it where it is. It feels stagnant, but I feel like it's more to conserve and process the energy or whatever's going around. Or this could be both you and your person being very independent on your own and kind of just focusing on your own thing while still remaining together. Very healthy dynamic here between you and your person. And I am seeing that I feel like somebody here hasn't been happy about something with the Ten of Cups reversed. It's like, it could be finances because abundance is coming through, but abundance doesn't have to be money. It could also be just not being happy with the situation. I get this a lot with like people in long distance connections or people in connections that are otherwise tricky to navigate. So maybe that's something that will be talked about between you and your person. But with the Sun, there is a lot of positivity within this. So it's nothing that can't be resolved. And you might even freak out about it for a little bit, especially with the Seven of Swords reversed. But I feel like it's finally being aired out. Back of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles, responsibility and abundance. So I do see a lot of positive energy here between you and your person. Let's get some connecting cards. I want to get some cards for the both of you, both my singles and my people in relationships. Also, it's funny that this yin-yang energy is coming through, particularly for my singles. So I feel like things will even out. For those of you who are dating and you still consider yourself single, if somebody has been giving far too much or not enough, expect that to balance out. I feel like for a lot of you, it's definitely not enough. It's not that, I don't think it's even breadcrumbing either. It's a little bit like somebody here maybe wasn't pulling enough of their weight or showing enough interest, and suddenly you're going to see that turn around. You're going to see that, like, if they really do want you, they're going to come after you. They're going to be showing interest in a much more healthy, positive way. And I don't know what you've done to do this. The Queen of Swords does make me think that you've been using a tactic that it's not manipulating them. That's not what it is. It's more like you're pulling back your energy if somebody else isn't giving you the kind of attention that you need. And because you do this, they're showing up for you. So I feel like you're actually doing things differently. Like, it's almost like strategizing, but like I said, it's not like you're scheming or you're trying to be manipulative. No, it's like you're just doing what any respectful person would do for themselves. If somebody doesn't want to show any interest, then you're not going to show interest back. In fact, if they are interested in you, you're not going to do all the work, or vice versa, depending on which side you're on here. Because it's weird how I was focusing on this relationship and then I come back to this single energy, like, oh, wait. So I am getting that. That's what the Hanged Man is. A change of perspective. Maybe you're changing your mind about somebody because suddenly they are showing up for you when you thought that they were not interested. So, a card for the both of you. We have the Three of Cups. She wanted to come out reverse, but I feel like it could be taken anyway. I do see a lot of you, or at least Spirit is asking you to focus on the friendships you have, the people who surround you, the people who celebrate you, the people who love you unconditionally, platonically. Pay attention to those people. I feel like if you are looking for some sort of outside validation, because I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as it's not an unhealthy amount of it. I feel like looking to your friends and looking to the people who celebrate you is going to be a lot more fulfilling and satisfying than looking for somebody romantically. Even if you are in a relationship, this would be like, spend more time with friends. They remind you what a bad bee you are here, pile 1. Back of the deck, we have the Seven of Pentacles, investment and diligence. So it's definitely just the time to be focusing on yourself. If you want to pour into your connection, especially for those of you who are already coupled, I feel like it's a great time to do so. I feel like just with anything, relationships do take maintenance and management, and you have to check in with each other to see where you are. In fact, the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords here are kind of pinging through, almost like they're resonating with each other. And same thing if you're single, make sure you're still focusing on your health, your money, everything else about you. And whoever does want you, whoever is interested in you, will show up in the same way. So with that said, I'm going to close it off with a question that maybe we can answer, or maybe that you may want to answer yourself. This is from the relationship question deck that I have. It's called Best Self, for those of you who are curious, and I do link it in the description below. Can our relationship work if we disagree about fundamental issues? Yeah, I feel like, because I did mention that, didn't I? Like, you could be very different, very opposite, and maybe things still work out. But I feel like there's certain key things that maybe are just deal breakers in relationships, particularly for those of you who are already in a connection. It's like, what can you compromise on and what are non-negotiables? Hopefully whatever is being aired out is something that you can both work through. But I'm getting a lot of that, a lot of you evaluating what it is that you want in and out of relationships and what you can work with and what you can't. But this is where I leave it, pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose the pistachio calcite, then we have your reading here for you about your next, what's next in your love life. We're going to see what's up next for you. I am reading this for both singles and people in relationships. So we'll get to that when we get to the tarot. We're going to start with the oracles. So right away, we have the Magician, synchronicity and manifestation. For those of you who have been manifesting, I feel like you're finally going to see the results of that. If not, this is the universe asking you to manifest what it is that you want. I know sometimes people say to make like a list of things that you would like in a partner. For those of you who are single, if you're in a relationship, this would be like making a list of things that you would like your relationship to do, like where the both of you would like to go, goals in common that you may want. So I'm getting a little bit of the both of those energies for you. We have Integrity Horns number 41, which is really interesting. You're really considering your partner, for those of you in a relationship, in this next chapter of your love life. And for, I mean, I guess even if you don't have a partner, you're really considering who you're bringing along for the ride here. We have ambush your fear with your ferocious dreams. For those of you who have had like either bad luck in love, or there have just been like common themes of struggles, again, in and out of relationships, I feel like you're finally breaking through that barrier of what it is that has been repeating itself, and you're ambushing it. So it's like the light is stronger than the dark. Everything that you want to aspire for and everything that you dream of is stronger than the negativity here. I feel like the love wins, essentially, within this case. We have this one. It is important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you have been focusing on yourself rather than focusing on somebody else. But even though this may seem like it's contradicting the advice I was just giving you here, pile 2, I feel like it's more like set your intentions out there and then let it go and focus on you. It's like just send out the message and you'll receive the response whenever it's ready for you, whenever the time comes. I feel like it's making a list of things that you want. It's definitely like, how do I say it? Making a wish, but not holding on to it so tightly so that it can have room to grow and breathe and flourish. And when it's ready, it will come to you. So there is something here about a healthy give and take when it comes to what you want out of a connection. I am getting this weird, like an anxious energy within this pile, which doesn't surprise me with the Magician. The Magician is Mercury energy, and Mercury energy I love because it's communication, it's multifaceted, it's having multiple things going on at once. It's being both mental, verbal, and mental as in like your mental capacity to take on multiple things. And I love the mercurial energy in general. However, when overstimulated, when overwhelmed, it can cause anxiety within the self. So I feel like it's important that you take care of yourself and notice when you're being overloaded by either a particular mentality, or when things are just too much, take a breather, take a break. So for some of you, I am picking up on this energy of possible anxiety or anxiousness. We have chained and bound. Addiction and codependency are affecting your current situation or relationship. You may feel trapped in a connection, situation, and environment. Someone may act possessive and controlling. So especially for those of you who have this pattern of being chained and bound, and this could come off in several ways. It's the pattern of either feeling trapped in a connection, feeling tied down, feeling like you can't escape something. I feel like a lot of you are battling this, again, regardless of whether you're single or in a relationship. But I think it's more prominent when you're in a relationship. When you're single, it's easy to forget about this until you start thinking of the notion of being able to settle down with someone. Because sometimes we don't know what we want until somebody proposes, I mean quite literally proposes marriage, or proposes commitment, or wants to go steady with you, and maybe that's when your fears start coming through. And I feel like a lot of you are asking yourselves about that. It's like, what makes you feel tied down? What makes you feel like you have no freedom within love, relationships, or in a connection? And then back at the deck, just because I feel like this is really hitting home what I told you. Manifest your soulmate. This card indicates that your manifestation will come into your reality soon. And there is like a little spell here for those of you who are curious. If you want to take a snapshot or pause it here so that you can look at it. I'm not going to say it out loud. But it does involve a candle for those of you who like candle magic. But you could do it any way that you want. I know some people write it down on a piece of paper. Some people, they just pray it, meditate it, wish it into existence. And then the last card from my pile 2, we have Anzus, which is intuition. I feel like a lot of you, and interesting, we have 2 birds here. In fact, both of these cards have like 2 animals. This has the 2 cows. I think they're statues of the goddess Hathor, who I associate with Taurian energy, fertile mothering energy. But the 2 crows, maybe some of you, or birds in general, could be important here when it comes to relationships. Also, the color purple and blue are very prominent in this one. Like these are entirely different decks, but notice how these colors all feel very similar, like this shade of blue and purple. That would be the third eye and the throat chakra. Again, manifestation with intuition in our third eye and speaking things into existence. I feel like a lot of you are manifesting, whether you realize this or not, for better or worse. Hopefully better. Make sure you fine tune your manifestations for the better. And especially if you have issues, again, with commitment or being tied down. So with that said, let's move on to the tarot portion of this. I'm going to do 2 sections, one for the singles and one for those in relationships already. And again, you can take from either side. Sometimes both piles, both sections will resonate, or you may take from one and then the other. And then we're going to have one connecting card that applies to the both of you, which could maybe bring it together. So this side, the left side is going to be singles. The right side is going to be those in relationships. And if you're in something in between, just take whatever resonates. There have been some piles already where like the 2 energies were entirely different. So sometimes they're similar and sometimes they're not. So pile 2, singles. You have the Ace of Cups, somebody new in your energy, somebody, a new interest or a new connection. Like I said, you've been manifesting. Okay, all these cards. And I feel like they're going to come pretty fast. Take that as it resonates. We have the 10 of Wands. We have responsibility and challenges. Like I said, it's like you have a new connection, but it will bring up certain patterns that keep repeating, maybe certain fears within yourself that I feel like you're meant to confront alone, of course. We also have the 9 of Swords reverse, letting me know that you're at a point in life where if any issues arise, you know how to handle them. It's like you're not afraid of issues and connections because you've been in and out of them for some time, or you've healed enough to the point where you understand that not every problem is an actual deal breaker. Sometimes problems can be worked through in relationships. And then we have Judgment, which I don't know if it was meant to be reversed. I feel like it is. So you're going to be making a decision that I feel like you either make it too quickly or you kind of second guess yourself. For some of you, this could mean that you go back on something, like maybe you thought you didn't want anything to do with someone, but then like you're kind of guided back to them, whether it's of your own intention or not. So I feel like for a lot of you, my single specifically, you could be giving somebody a second chance, somebody that you haven't already dated. I'm not talking about the ex that you don't want to come back. I'm talking about somebody that maybe you overlooked or somebody that you couldn't choose because you chose somebody else over them. This is for those of you dating multiple people at the same time, casually, in a non-committal way. I'm getting a little bit of that. Or somebody that you couldn't give time to for whatever reason. So I do see a little bit of that. Maybe this person kind of scared you in a way because they represented something that you didn't like or didn't want. And I feel like you're going to go back to that because it's hasty judgment for sure. After all, this is the Judgment card. So with that said, let's move on to my people already in a relationship. Those of you already with somebody. We have the 8 of Pentacles, resourcefulness and positive potential. I feel like if you're already with a partner, you're seeing where things can go next. You could be making plans. Maybe somebody here recently got a job promotion or a new job, something where like you're taking into account the longevity of this connection. King of Pentacles, yeah, this could be you or your partner being very stable, very solid. Again, it's like you're planning. The King of Pentacles loves to plan, especially when they take into account their resources. We have the 2 of Pentacles. So there is a bit of an imbalance, which I feel like will be balanced out eventually. But for now, this could be like somebody is without a job and somebody is because they got a promotion and they have to follow them to wherever they're going to live. Like someone got a promotion and they're moving. So somebody may have to quit their job and find a new one because the main breadwinner has to find, like they're following the main breadwinner or something along those lines. So right now things could be a little off balance, but because there is such a structured energy to the both of you, I feel like you'll make it work. And then we have the Tower, disruption and conflict. So if you know you're on good footing, I feel like you'll be fine. If you're not, this is like a make or break deal. Particularly for those of you who have been in this long-term, whatever long-term looks like to you. For some people, long-term is more than a year. For others, long-term is at least, 3 years or more. But there is a bit of a disruption that will test the connection. But those of you who are in good standing, you'll make it through. Those of you who have been on shaky ground, I feel like there's going to be a decision made, which is really interesting. It's similar to the singles energy in that there's like There's a definite decision being made or being reviewed. So I feel like the both of you are going through that. So that's what I see for those people in relationships. It only feels threatening if you already know there was something not right or not fair in the connection. But if things are fair and right and you know how to make them fair and right, then it shouldn't be threatening. That's why I feel like this Tower card will only be scaring some of you and not all of you. You know who you are. Let's go ahead and get your connecting card. One card for the both of you. We have the King of Swords reversed. And it's, can I get clarification on this? This could be either, it could be a meddling energy, or it could be like a third party or somebody else coming through. For those of you in the singles category, this could be the person coming back. They could have a lot of air or have really strong air placements, particularly Mercury in an air sign. So Mercury in Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. I almost said Taurus, which is weird because Taurus is nothing like air energy at all. Take that as it resonates. So yeah, for those of you who are single, this would be the person wanting to come back or having like a re-discussion about something. Also interesting, the tattoos here. Because this guy, the earth guy doesn't have tattoos, but the air guy does. And then for those of you who are already in a relationship, this could be somebody intervening. It doesn't necessarily have to be a third party, like someone's cheating. It could be like a fatherly energy trying to bring some common sense to you or your partner or somebody here. Or it could be, it just feels like a strong voice of reason or voice of input if it's not reason. I just feel like somebody's meddling in the energy for the both of you. But I think if you're single, this is nowhere near as threatening as if you were in a connection. This just feels like somebody who, I don't know what their intentions are, but they're definitely being heard regardless. Back of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands reversed. So things could come to a standstill until everybody has their things figured out. But until then, this is what I have for you, my pile 2. Let's go ahead and get your last card, which is a question card from my relationship question deck. And this could be a question you want to ask yourself, or it could be something that I could easily answer here, depending on what it is. How do we create space for holding difficult conversations? Yes, especially those of you in relationships already. I feel like there could be a difficult conversation that needs to be brought up. And for those of you who are single, this could be like, how do I tell them that I kind of want to try this again? That's what I'm getting. Or that I would like to give them a fair chance. Regardless, there's going to be difficult conversations being said. In fact, that would explain why the King of Swords could be representing you here, pile 2. And this could be the part of you that doesn't know how to bring up a particular topic or situation. Because the King of Swords knows how to speak anything eloquently. But in this case, it's like, I don't know how to bring this up. Because there could be a lot of emotions involved or a lot of, I mean, I don't want to say baggage, but it does feel like, you know, sometimes conversations are just difficult. And I feel like those conversations are a test to the bond of a relationship. After all, we did start off with the Magician, which does deal with communication. And we ended with the King of Swords reversed. So there is a need to be vulnerable here, not being afraid to be vulnerable. For some of you, vulnerability could be in and of itself a fear that you may have, particularly those who are my male viewers, my straight male viewers, or those of you who identify as much more masculine. I feel like this is really speaking to you. But this is where I leave it, my beautiful pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the fluorite, the purple fluorite, then we have a reading here for you about what is coming up next for you in love. We're going to see what your love life will be, the next chapter, what's happening next. I am reading this for both singles and people in relationships within the tarot, but we're going to start with the oracles to get an overall view of what's coming up next for you. We have the Sun, positivity and abundance. So overall positive energy, regardless of what else comes through. Let's get your cards. I'm doing this a little backwards in terms of the oracles. Pile 3. We have Raido, journey. So some of you could be going on a literal journey. Maybe you're traveling somewhere that could be impacting your love life, or you could be on a self-discovery journey, especially with the Sun. But for the majority of you, I do feel like it's a new perspective. It's an expansion of your mindset, an expansion of how you view love, relationships, and maybe even people in general. For pile 3, We have this one. She's kissing a tree. Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. I feel like a lot of you are actually rather content right now, because the Sun is a card that doesn't really need anything else to shine. It feels comfortable in its independence, in its solitude. I feel like the Sun is it's Leo energy for sure, so strong independent energy. But if something else wants to come along to add shine to it, it wouldn't be a problem. So for a majority of you, what's next in love is either you're already in a state where you're happy as you are, or you're going to get something that adds to that. We have wisdom and growth spiral. So yeah, 11/28. The 28th of November could be an important time. I also know that's Sagittarius season. But I feel like a lot of you, you're growing. Your wisdom is going to be useful. I feel like for a lot of you, it's a very, I'm thinking of like 9th house energy. Like your views on love are expanding. The way you view love within yourself and others is also becoming much more, I mean, it could be spiritual. For some of you, it could definitely be spirituality. But for others of you, it's like opening up your mind to what love truly is or may not be. Even the way we express love or people express love to you, it's all about giving and receiving. But so far, it feels like a very individual kind of journey here, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not. We have home and family. There might be some changes coming up regarding your current home situation. A relocation could also be possible. This card also stands for starting a family together. Yeah, I feel like I mean, that could be several things. You could be starting a family with your partner. Your family could become more prominent or more important, or even just the household in general could be important. And relocation, only because we did have Rido here with journey and growth, and I feel like those do contribute to moving residences or moving from place to place. Take that only if it resonates. And the last card for my pile 3, I keep hearing I don't know what to expect, and I feel like that's a great attitude to have, because that opens up the possibilities for a lot of you, especially my singles. I feel like you could be in a very independent energy now that allows you to have a lot of possibilities. Bravely market your magic, number 39. And magic happens when you most expect it. Yeah, it's like you're open to the magic, you're open to the possibilities, but you're not exactly, it's like you don't need it, but you're open and happy to it, creator fire. So I feel like for a lot of you, the next chapter in your life is something much more expansive than what you've been experiencing lately, or it's definitely going to be a sudden shift in how you view love and relationships. It's like if it comes, it's great. If it doesn't, that's okay as well. And overall, I'm seeing a very positive attitude towards love, because I feel like you're also focusing on your growth, on your journey, on your home, house, family. So the love is around you. You are an embodiment of love, and you understand this, pile 3. And it's not so much that you're looking for outside validation as much as you're looking for somebody to either partake with this, share this love that you have, or to even add to the love that you currently have. So we're not dimming ourselves for anybody. The sun would never dim itself for anybody, and neither should you. And I feel like you're finally in a space comfortable enough to understand, accept, and even live that. So I really do love this energy. It's very positive. With that said, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot, so I can do the reading specifically for coupled people and not so coupled people. And you might resonate with both sides as well. Especially if you're in an in-between situation. Though I feel like this pile, out of all of them, wouldn't really be in a situationship. Like, the respect is too high in this pile. I mean, no shade on any of the other ones, but like, this would be somebody that you, pile 3, or at least in this next chapter, like you're not doing half-seas, you're not doing you know, casi algos, as they call them in Spanish. You're not doing any of that. You're not doing situationships. And it's not that you're all or nothing. It's just like either you're in a relationship or you're not. Either somebody's on board with your views of love or they're not. And you're respectfully and kindly not accepting anything less than that. And I love this for you, pile 3. So for my singles, we're going to start with you on the left side. And like I said, if you're not single, you could still resonate with some of these messages. Just take it how it resonates. Take it how it is appropriate for you. We have the 8 of Pentacles, beautiful. Resourcefulness and positive potential. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of the positivity here, lots of potential. I'm also hearing this as options, which I would typically associate that with the Seven of Cups or even the Seven of Pentacles. But here it's more understanding that you are set, that you are good, that you don't need anybody for anything, because you can meet your own needs. We also have the King of Cups. Beautiful. And because of this, I do feel like you're attracting a higher quality of person, people who are more emotionally available for sure. The King of Cups is the epitome of emotional availability. So I feel like either this is you becoming this, or this is the kind of people that are showing up for you. And in a lot of cases, both. Because whatever we resonate at is typically what we attract. So for a lot of you, you're actually attracting good quality people. Even good quality friends for a lot of you. We have the Page of Pentacles reversed, which is interesting because I feel like a lot of you are still going to be hesitant to set roots anywhere, especially if the relocation aspect of the oracles is resonating true for you. Like maybe a lot of you are moving and you don't know where you're gonna be permanently staying, or if you even should. And I feel like this is your biggest struggle right now for my singles here, is you don't know who you should be giving your energy to and who you should be showing up for, or vice versa. I feel like if you want to start something long term, you don't know if it's the right time or if it's like the right, it's not even about the right person. You're attracting better quality people. It's more about, should I bother with this? I don't know where I'm going to be living. I don't know what my next journey is physically, or in terms of career, or even home family structure. So for a lot of you, you may just wonder, like, is this somebody I should give my time and energy to? Because I feel like you also don't want to waste anybody's time. You're being very mindful in this next era. We also have the Nine of Pentacles, abundance and fortitude. Yeah, this next chapter, you're happy. I don't know if it's like, maybe you have more money, or maybe you have a job that really makes you feel fulfilled. I feel like you're happy and you're good and you're set in this next era of your love life. So the only struggle you may have is that you don't know how to handle dating. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't know if you should even bother. If you're temporarily staying somewhere for the sake of a job, for example, let's use that example. Let's say a job sends you off to some other part of the world and you're just staying there for maybe a few weeks, a few months, and the dating scene there is good. Maybe you're even meeting really good, attractive people with something to offer. And you're just like, I don't know if that's even right at the moment, because I may not be living here for too long. And I will pick a card. I'm going to pick an extra card of advice for that, because this is like having too much of a good thing. This is a good problem to have. That's a good thing to ask yourself as well. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and I'm hearing no. Don't worry about setting roots. What you want will come to you. What is made for you will pursue you. So even if it does mean that somebody, you know, you take an interest in them, but you say, hey, I don't know how long I'll be here, they're still here pursuing you. They're still messaging you, talking to you, setting up dates, whether they're in person or through a video. Like, who you want will show up for you regardless of where you are in the world. I mean, I feel like that's wonderful. So it's a don't chase, be chased kind of energy that you should be leaning into here. Don't be afraid for people to pursue you. I mean, yes, be honest with them, but I think honesty is what breeds even better relationships here. So for my coupled people, for my people in relationships, for those of you who already have somebody, we have the Fool, new adventures. I heard right away, new adventures. We have optimism and freedom as well, but I'm hearing new adventures with your person. We also have the Queen of Wands. Also, you're both looking really good. Specifically, whoever is the feminine or the woman, or even if you're both women, you're both having a major glow up here. I feel like there's this, it's just you being in a good energy, being in a great light. So this is like you want to go out every night and you look good, or you even have like this energy that is insatiable. Again, if this is like a relocation kind of situation, it's that you both end up going somewhere where you don't get tired, where you don't get exhausted by the people around you. You know how sometimes you're out somewhere, and even if you're with somebody, you both look at each other, it's like, yeah, I don't want to be here. Let's just go. Let's just take our food to go, or something like that. This is the opposite of that. This is like you go somewhere and you get inspired and you love the vibes. You love the energy of a place. And this is impacting both of you as a couple. So I feel like this next chapter, you're finding somewhere that really calls to you, or that even reinvigorates parts of your relationship or parts of yourselves to have like more energy. Sorry for the cut there, pile 3. I have no idea why the video cut off at 11:11 of all things, which I think was kind of funny because I had plenty of space, but that was odd. Okay, so I last was talking about the Queen of Wands. You also have the Six of Swords. So I feel like for my relationship people, you're definitely the ones looking more for a place to be, a place to stay, a new home. Because for a lot of you, I do get the feeling that wherever you were before, you didn't feel safe, or that you belonged, or that it was just your thing regardless. I think for this particular pile, if you are coupled, I'm getting strong vibes of you looking for your safe space and to belong to a community here. For the Page of Wands, I do feel like a lot of you, you're just looking for that spark again. It's not that you're tired of each other, or that the monotony here isn't coming from within the relationship. It's coming from the outside influence and the people around you, or even the community or lack thereof. Or maybe for some of you, it could be wherever you live right now just isn't really to your needs. So you're looking for a place to call home, a place to be safe. And then the card for both singles and relationships, we have the Eight of Cups. We have new direction and walking away. So you're coming out of an energy where you're no longer emotionally numb to the things around you. It's like you were deciding to numb yourself, or to not even pay attention to the things happening. Because if you were to turn on those feelings and feel everything about what was happening, you would be either constantly angry, constantly sad. I think emotional numbness is a self-defense mechanism to some extent, and that's what a lot of you were surviving in. I heard surviving with survival mode, but when it came more to your emotions. So it's not that on the outside you felt threatened, you felt more threatened on the inside. Maybe some of you had to come out of spaces and places that just weren't doing it for you. And a lot of you, I do feel like it may involve family, because the question card that you got was describe your relationship with your parents, grandparents, and siblings. So regardless of single or relationship, we also did have that home and family card in the oracles. I feel like you have to ask yourself how the relationship between your parents, grandparents, siblings, were all impacting the way you view relationships, love, the love of yourself especially, and how much safety you could tolerate on an everyday basis. I feel like safety is something that we learn within the household, unfortunately. And I think that can impact what we tolerate and don't tolerate in relationships. So a lot of you are asking yourselves this very thing. You could be doing some ancestral healing as well, if you did have like a really good home life. I feel like a lot of you are questioning that, especially those of you in relationships who want to start your own families. You may wonder how that will transgress in the future, what you agree on, what you don't agree on. I'm thinking of specifically if you had parents who took care of your grandparents, do you expect to do that as well? And what will you expect out of your children or multiple children if they have siblings? Which is really interesting, especially those of you who are combining your own families, like you have children from previous relationships. So this is what I have for you, my beautiful pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the clear quartz crystal tower, then we have a reading here for you about what is coming up next for you in love. What is next? I am reading this for both singles and people in relationships within the tarot, but we're going to start with some oracles to get an overall view of the themes coming up for you in love. You actually got 2 cards, and I had to like really make sure that, yeah. So we have the Chariot and the Nine of Cups. I love this. This means that things are not only moving forward, but they're moving forward towards something that you've been wanting, something that you've either been manifesting, wishing for, or that is just really going to make you happy. We have direction, willpower, contentment, and satisfaction. I love this. I love this so much for you, pile 4. Which is kind of funny because I was kind of getting a sense of misdirection at first, because I literally almost left for something. But then I realized that I was an hour early. I was like, wait a minute, I still have a whole hour before I have to leave. So for a lot of you, this could be like maybe you have more time for something, or maybe unexpectedly you realize that you have more space for something. So something is going to be given or granted to you almost out of nowhere, or maybe that you are not aware of. So for me, it was like an extra hour of time to do, well, one, this reading, and two, some other stuff. And another thing coming forward here is that you're finally moving forward. You're finally moving on from something. You're leaving behind that which is not great for you. You are moving towards the positive. So especially if you've been feeling stagnant and stuck, I feel like that's finally changing, especially in the terms of romance here. So let's go ahead and get your cards. Pile 3 or 4. Pretty sure it's just 3. Whatever pile you are. We have Isa, which is ice, standstill. Like I said, a lot of you are coming out of stagnancy. I feel like there has been some stagnancy, but I feel like within that time of a standstill, you've been learning a lot about yourself, or it's made you rethink something. It's like being stuck at a traffic light, but within that time you're at the traffic light, you're able to see something that catches your eye. It could be like a new business, or it could be, you know, a new path, a new house, just all kinds of things that when you look around, there's more to see. We also have renewal. Not surprised. We have number 16, renewal here with is this a butterfly or a moth? It says butterfly. Also transformational energy there. So if things had to slow down, and you know what's funny, back of the deck of this is delays and blocks. If there have been delays and blocks, it's because they were necessary for something here. So, and I'll interpret this, for example, for my singles, this would be if there has been a lull in dating, it's because you weren't in the right environment, either internally or externally, to be dating, or there just weren't, the right people weren't around. So to say, I feel like it was just not the moment or time. Maybe some of you had other stuff going on as well, and the time for romance wasn't it. And for those of you in relationships, same thing. If there was a lull in your relationship or in what you and your partner wanted to do, it's because neither of you were ready, or you weren't on the same page yet. We have red flags. Don't overlook the warning signs regarding the situation. Someone may act in a very negative and destructive way. Is it really healthy for you? Yeah, it's like you were looking for the red flags within yourself, within somebody else, or within a situation. Especially those of you who maybe thought you were going to progress it forward with somebody, and then you find like a major red flag, and it's like, well, I'm glad I didn't commit to that person. Or anything else along that kind of way of thinking. I feel like if there have been issues, they were for reasons. Everything happens for a reason. But the next step of this love life is getting out of this. This is just confirming for a lot of you that you're meant to be here. Collaboration of souls, number 6. And this is meant to resonate with the Lover's card in this particular oracle deck. It's an oracle deck, but it's kind of got interpretations of the cards, because this is the number 6. The number 6 is the Lovers in the original tarot, the Rider-Waite tarot. And number 6 is also a number of partnerships within numerology. And then the last card for my pile 4. I'm pretty sure this is pile 4. Why can't I remember? Okay, so we have this one. Forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. So forgiveness here always starts with the self, forgiving yourself for the things that you've allowed, for the things that you've put yourself through, for the things that, for whatever reason, transpired. Because there had to be at least some small little... And I hope this doesn't come off as victim blaming, but it's more like, you know, you have to forgive yourself for whatever it is that you went through, what you feel, even if you feel like you are to blame or not to blame. I feel like there is some aspect of you that feels the shame and guilt that you carry. So you start with forgiveness of the self, and then you forgive everybody around you. Because I think, at least for this pile, and maybe in general, it's harder to forgive the self than it is to forgive others sometimes. To forgive others would be like, well, yeah, of course you mess up, you're human. But we forget that we're human too. So I feel like a lot of you have gone through a deep sort of healing, a deep transformation of the self to be able to understand what it is that you needed in order to break away from either a pattern, a situation, a certain type of environment, people, or maybe even a particular person. But I do see forward momentum. It just had to come with a lot of, you know, baggage that had to be overcome at first. Or even situations, again, whether they were within your control or out of your control, they just needed some tending to. But I feel like what it made you realize was what exactly that you wanted or didn't want in a connection. So let's move on to the tarot, if this is resonating. Let's move on to the tarot. And I'll be using the same deck. This is the Accurate AF Tarot. So the left side is going to be my singles. The right side is going to be those of you in relationships or who already have a person. And if you want to take from both sides, you can. Sometimes they both resonate. Or if you feel like you're more one or the other, regardless of your status, you can take that as well. And then I'll have like at least one connecting card here. So for my singles, what's up next for you in love? We have Metamorphosis. This is the death card in this particular deck. And like I said, there's a huge transformation. It's interesting that it says profound change and self-awareness, which I don't always associate that with the death card, but in this particular deck, there's definitely a sense of self-awareness and profound change. And you'll know you've changed because you feel better. Like there's more brightness in your world than there is darkness. We have the Eight of Cups reversed, which is a great card to have reversed. It's like you're feeling your feelings again. You're allowing yourself to be honest with both yourself and the people around you. There needs to be, I just keep hearing honesty, especially if in the past you've been prone to keep quiet, to keep the peace, or prone to not pick up any sort of confrontation or any sort of, not argument, but you just didn't want to upset anybody before. It's definitely people-pleasing energy. People-pleasing tendencies are no longer a thing within this next chapter of your love life. Because when you people-please, you're not being honest with yourself. When you people-please, you're keeping someone happy, yes, but at the detriment of your own happiness. And it's like you have to find a middle ground, a common ground, or go elsewhere where that can be reached. I feel like, especially because sometimes I feel like we as humans in general are prone to suffering, or we accept that suffering is something that we must do. But the truth is that's all a lie. Like there are so many people who benefit off our suffering, and we kind of just accept that. We forget that we are allowed to be happy. And will it make everybody happy? No, but that's why you got to find your people. That's why you got to find your true person. I feel like someone really needed to hear that. We have the Ten of Wands, responsibility and challenges. Yeah. A lot of you, again, this could be my pile of singles who maybe feel that love and relationships are all hard or difficult or hard work. I always think of that lyric by Taylor Swift. I'm not her biggest fan. I'm not her fan at all, actually. But that one lyric, it's like, boys only want love if it's torture. Don't say I didn't warn you. It always hit me so profoundly. Boys only want love if it's torture. Don't say I didn't warn you. And I'm like, I don't think that's always the case. If somebody wants you to be tortured in order to love them, then that's not love. That's them expecting you to be at their beck and call. I don't know. I don't know why that's coming through so strongly in this one for my singles. Okay, let's get one more. So we have the King of Pentacles reverse and the Seven of Cups. Oh, for a lot of you, you do have options. I don't know why my singles need to hear this, but you have more than one option. And maybe you are stuck on somebody or were. But this person is somebody that is not going to change. And when they refuse to change and refuse to meet your goals, standards, what you want, I feel like it's time to find somebody else. And maybe there is love here. Maybe they really do love you. But if there are certain things that you can't compromise for the benefit of the both of you, and it's only benefiting one, it's time to move on. Maybe for some of you, you've already moved on from this person and you're still healing from the repercussions of whatever it is that they brought into your life. And that's okay. But I feel like you will finally let this go. It's making me think, okay, so I watched Pocahontas, not the first, well, I did watch the first one, but then I watched the sequel because I forgot that it has a sequel where she has to, historically speaking, she ends up marrying another John Rolfe. But at first she had to choose, she didn't really have to choose, I guess. It was kind of like the options were presented for her. John Smith wanted to do, towards the end of the movie, he wanted to do something completely different from what she wanted. And John Rolfe, the guy she does end up marrying, wanted to do exactly what she wanted to do. He was like, I'm okay doing with whatever you want. And it's like, it was obvious for her that there were two different paths. And she had to choose the one who was more aligned with her because she was very compatible and clearly loved them both. Like, at least that's how the movie presented it. She liked the both of them. She had fun with the both of them. That her options were not limited. She had multiple options. That's why the Seven of Cups is here, pile 4. You have multiple options. We are possible of being compatible with multiple people. And that's why I sometimes hesitate with the soulmate notion, because we have multiple soulmates. You know, there are so many people in the world, 8 billion right now, as of now. You know, you're trying to tell me you only have one person you're completely compatible with? That's kind of ridiculous. You have multiple, maybe not at your disposal right now, but they're out there. Okay, sorry. I feel like my singles really needed me in this one. Let's move on to people in relationships, people in connections. What's going on with you? We have the Knight of Pentacles. So things have been moving slowly, but they're moving in the right direction. I feel like you've been working hard towards something. Productivity and endurance. So things are moving forward. Maybe not at the pace that you want, but definitely moving forward, progressing forward. We have the Two of Pentacles. And there is also a talk about balance within your connection. However, because I feel like my people who are already in a relationship here are a little bit more healthy when it comes to this, you already kind of have it figured out. Like, you're aware of the balances and imbalances. And we have the Hanged One, the Hanged Man, transition and sacrifice. Yeah, it's like you're willing to make the sacrifices necessary, or there will be a need to make certain sacrifices in relationships here. I feel like you, both singles and people in connections, may have a similar theme of balancing things out. Like, maybe you thought something was stalling because it wasn't meant to be. But for my people in relationships, this could just be for you both to slow down and see where you need to smooth out the wrinkles in a relationship. And we have the Ten of Wands, culmination, satisfaction. So this is reversed. So I feel like not everything was perfect in my people with connections. Like, maybe you had to get your finances in order. Maybe you both had to save up. Maybe you both needed to work on something. And it's like you're finally working on that. Letting me know that for some of you, this has been some time. The Knight of Pentacles moves slowly but surely. So there's definitely forward momentum for my people in relationships, but things have to be either balanced out, or you need to focus on the things that need work. So if this is like a communication or lack thereof, this is focusing on that. If this is getting your finances in order to move somewhere or meet certain goals, that's that as well. I see this a lot with people who want to have children, for example, and they want to get their finances to a certain space so that they can, you know, provide for their kids. Or somebody here may want like a promotion before they're able to afford a house or something like that. So definitely very solid goals for my people in relationships, but there has to be a change in some way. And it's not even a big dramatic change. The Hanged Man is more of a perspective change. It's more like once you change the way you look at something, once you change the way you perceive something, then it's going to be easier. So it's more a mental shift. It's more a change of how you view things, as opposed to a change in patterns, physical patterns. So for a lot of you, it could also be physical patterns, because we do have a lot of pentacles. And for my couples, I feel like it's more about money or resources, or even where you want to settle down. Could also be health as well for some of you. But for my people in relationships, it's a little bit more solid. You know where you're going, and it is progressing. Maybe not at the speed that you want, but it will get there. Just focus on whatever needs focusing on within your relationship. And then for the both of you, we have the Three of Wands, development and opportunity. Yeah, things are moving forward. Things are moving forward. I just feel like there was a lull for a lot of you, whether it was with yourself or with your partner or for the both of you. It could have been things outside of your control, just hitting each of you differently as well. So overall, positive, very positive energy and forward momentum in this pile. Let's go ahead and get I'm using a questionnaire card for your final advice. And I can either answer this or you can answer this on your own. So you actually got two. How can we guarantee quality time together to ensure the busyness of life doesn't pull us apart? Oh, this is definitely more for my people in connections, but maybe for my singles, this is also important. How can we guarantee quality time together to ensure the busyness of life doesn't pull us apart? For those of you who are in relationships, maybe you haven't been spending enough time with your partner, or maybe just certain things out of your control have been taking away at your time. And even those of you who are single, maybe this is like life being too much that you don't even have time to focus on relationships, love, dating, or even just, making yourself feel good, whatever that may mean for you. And then what do you think is missing from our relationship currently? So this is definitely more for my people in relationships. What is missing? Like I said, the Ten of Pentacles is like there's there's a certain problem or a lack of something, but it's not something that you can't fix. So it's just a matter of focusing on it and it'll resolve itself. Because if it was something that was really lacking, it would be the Five of Pentacles. But instead, it's the Ten of Pentacles, letting me know that it's something solvable. Maybe you've been here before, but I'm not really seeing a repeating pattern here either for my couples. Maybe for some of you, this is like your first big hurdle to overcome in this relationship. So yeah, I love the energy. Things are moving and progressing forward. My singles are definitely having a more transformational time than people in relationships. And people in relationships, I feel like you're just overcoming very practical matters that are easy to solve. It's all a matter of just focusing on that. But with that said, this is where I leave it, pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 5. If you chose the rose quartz palm stone, then we have a reading here for you about what is next in your love life. We're going to see what the next steps, your next actions are going to be, or what the universe has in store for you. I am reading this for both singles and people in relationships, but we're going to get started with the oracles to see what is coming up for you, pile 5. So we have the Page of Cups, a new beginning, there could be a new person coming in for those of you who are single. For those of you in relationships, this could be somebody here admitting some sort of feeling towards you. Your partner or you could be feeling something new. This could also be, usually when I get this card in relationships, it means like you're bringing in somebody new into your little family. So it could be a human baby, it could be a fur baby, or anything along those lines. So you may be making space for a new little loved one. We have curiosity and discovery. It could also be procreation, you're trying to make a little one. Only if that resonates, of course, for those of you already in connection. So let's get the rest of your cards, pile 5, to see what's up next in love for you. We have Udur, which is about the past, which is interesting because sometimes the Page of Cups can be somebody from your past, specifically from your childhood or somebody from when you were younger. So if this is somebody coming back from your past, for those of you in connections, not in connections, for those of you who are single, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep wanting to say in connections. Maybe somebody's ex is coming back for whatever reason. If this makes sense to you, like maybe somebody has children with somebody else, this would make sense. But if not, this could be like an ex popping back up to remind you of how far you've come. But overall, I feel like the past is catching up with some of you in some way. Let me see what the book has to say. What has become? The past is always beside us. Past actions, and past fates. Past fates. This makes me think that some of you are stepping out of a past contract or even like a past cycle situation. For those of you who keep repeating certain patterns, regardless of whether you're single or in a connection, I feel like you're finally breaking free of that because you're recognizing the root emotion of that. Let's call it that, the root emotion. Okay, this card just popped up before I even shuffled. We have reflection. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that all will work out for the best. So it could be a moment of reflection for a lot of you. It could be a moment to kind of step outside of either the notion of love, the notion of dating, or the relationship itself to see where you are, where somebody else is. I really hope this isn't one of those situations where like somebody from you hear these stories a lot. It's like, oh, my ex is in town and they want to catch up over dinner. I'm going to go see them. Are you okay with that? It sounds a little bit like that, but I feel like depending on how you and your partner are, I guess, depending on what kind of relationship you have, that could be something that you're okay with, or it might not. And maybe for a lot of you, this is something that maybe it's just common. Again, if you share kids with another parent, this could be something that makes more sense to you. I don't know why that's coming up though, but that could be like a big deal for those of you in relationships. For my singles, this will just be, again, it could be an ex popping back up or somebody from your past. I feel like it's someone you weren't expecting. This is going to be somebody you're over. So if it's somebody you're hoping to come back, it's not them. If it's somebody you're not hoping to come back, it's not them either. This is something out of left field because this is something that you were not expecting. The only things that come back to you are the things you have already let go. So you won't have feelings about this until you hear about it. We also have spirit guides, 1111. Your spirit guides are watching over your current love situation. Pay attention to repeating signs. Yeah, we're breaking cycles or we're repeating something here. Or you may be on the verge of repeating something. This card also means that you are protected and it's safe for you to love. So regardless, you are protected. For some of you, you share spirit guides with certain people and your spirit guides are kind of guiding you together. Take that only where it resonates though. I don't want you to get it mixed up that anybody here is a soulmate. In fact, I had to redo this particular pile for several reasons. The energy I was picking up on was weird and my lack of timing. I just didn't have the time. And I almost didn't make a fifth pile, but the biggest thing that was coming up in that pile was the notion of soulmates, because I don't really view soulmates the way most people do. We have so many possible soulmates on Earth, and who knows how many more outside of Earth for those of you who believe in that, which is kind of crazy here. But anyway, we have sword, conflict, number 47. There could be some conflict here, especially if there is somebody coming back from the past. This could be inner conflict as well. Like maybe you don't know what to do. Maybe you thought an offer was off the table and now it's on and you kind of are wondering about that as well. It's definitely bringing up past emotions as well, because the Page of Cups and Urdur, the past, not just past emotions, but like past complexes that you felt you had already overcome or had gone over, like you felt like you were past that. But sometimes life will just hit you in such a way that you'll catch yourself being 35 and feeling like you're 22 again. You know, I feel like sometimes that can happen. And I say that because it's happened to me, pile 5. We have Changemaker, Make Waves, 45. What's interesting is we do have the numbers 47 and 45 here. So maybe those are certain ages that are important here for those of you in your 40s. Also, I get a lot of older people like complaining that I'm only ever talking about 20-somethings, 30-somethings. But the truth is I mention all age groups all the time. So I don't know why certain people get triggered when I only say 20 and 30 or whatever. But I always call out 45, 47, 50s, 60s. And if anyone over the age of 60 is watching us, that'd be interesting. But then again, I don't know what people's preferences are. But anyway, pile 5. Stuff from the past is coming back up. And I think this is going to be something that is meant to help you reflect on yourself and to help your personal development. If there is something that you haven't let go 100%, you may need to let go of that 5 to 1% of it. And maybe you'll finally be rid of it for good. And in other cases, this is just meant to help you make decisions, because with these hands, with this yarn, it's making me think of how life unravels. This is meant to represent the threads of fate here. In fact, this deck was made by the company or the business Threads of Fate, which are soon to close their doors, and it makes me sad. I keep being distracted by random things. I wonder if this is my group of people who may have ADHD. But then again, I've also been accused of having ADHD. So pile 5, if you're still with me, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot. So I'm intending the left side to be my singles and the right side to be my people in relationships. You can take from both if they both resonate, or you can switch it around if you feel like it fits you more. But just do take that in mind. The left side, I'm aiming towards singles, and the right towards people in relationships. However, make this fit however you need to take it. So for my singles, what's up next for you in love? I keep hearing stuff from the past. I'm hearing that song by, is it Eddie Santiago? Devórame otra vez, which means it means devour me again, roughly translated. It's a salsa song. It's really, really good. And it's talking about how someone isn't really over someone and they kind of want them back. It's one of those kind of songs. But I had that song stuck in my head, and I don't really listen to that kind of music. It's like party music. So like I said, there could be someone from the past, 8 of Cups, new direction, walking away. I feel like emotionally you're heading in a new direction, and people know this. This is when you've done the healing, when you've done the decoding, the deprogramming, the healing, whatever you want to call it. You've overcome something emotionally, internally, in terms of your entire vibration, and people feel you pulling away, so they kind of get sucked back in. It's like, wait, don't go. That's what I'm hearing. Like, somebody here is aware, especially those of you who had very spiritual connections with some of your past people, your exes. They're feeling it the most. They're feeling it strongly because for some of you, you have former partners on the same spiritual plane as you. And I feel like there's like a spiritual connection here. They feel you pulling away, or they feel the winds of change as well, and they don't like it. So don't be surprised if you get sudden texts or conversations, some WYDs at the middle of the night from somebody you didn't expect because they feel you pulling away. Or maybe they saw you with somebody else as well. We have the Ace of Wands, ambition and willpower. Interesting. So your love life is definitely going to get more active, ironically enough, because you've let it go, or you've let certain past things go. It's going to get way more active, and people are seeing the light in you. Every time I see the wands, I think of like a little flame, and it's like a flame that burns brightly, people looking gorgeous, people looking happy, and people are like, oh, let me go towards that energy. Pile 5's got that glow. I want that glow. So unfortunately, it attracts also people who are, you know, energy vampires, mosquitoes, whatever you want to call it. But it will also attract the right people. So don't be afraid of your own light here. We have the Devil reversed, and you are going to overcome these toxic exes that maybe at one point did draw you back in. Maybe at one point you'd be like, okay, let's try it again. Nope, not anymore. I feel like you really overcome so much that it's like all the progress you've made, you're not going to go back to something that's going to derail you. Why would you? And I think that's what's going to stun them the most. And we have the High Priestess. The only thing I see that you might have to watch out for is to not forget the forgiveness. Does that make sense? It's like you don't have to be toxic. You don't have to let them drag you down to their level. I'm not accusing you of being toxic, pile 5, but I feel like around certain people, you know how you get. Don't let them drag you down to their level, because it might be a little triggering with the High Priestess here. It's like, don't forget your intuition. Don't forget your connection to source. Don't forget that beautiful light within you. Because I think what these people at the very least want to do is ruffle you. Why would you let them ruffle you? Why would you let them put you in a mood that they're like, huh, see, I knew it. I knew you didn't heal for me. I keep seeing that. Like somebody here, maybe multiple people, don't want to believe that you have gotten better, that you have overcome them or gotten over them. Maybe they want to believe that you're still hanging on to whatever it is. So don't let them drag you down, because I can see that, especially when it comes to like their sweet little lies. Maybe you've fallen for it once or twice and you don't want to do it again. Remember who they are. I don't care how good they look. I don't care how, you know, they always say when the devil can't get to you, they send whatever your thing is, they send you that. So just be careful with some of these people from your past that do want to drag you back in, because I don't see any of them having anything worthy of your time. You're moving on to better things. I do see that. Beautiful, ambitious, successful things. So for my people in relationships, I feel like for those of you who are in relationships and do have an ex that likes to pop back every now and then, I think this might also resonate with you. So, relationship, my beautiful people of pile 5 in relationships. We've got the 6 of Cups. Beautiful. Nostalgia. Maybe you and your boo are like reminiscing about the old days, like when you first got together, however long ago that was. Or maybe when you first met each other, if you've only been together for like not too long. Because sometimes I think it's funny what people perceive of each other when they first meet each other, and then how they end up being together. We have the 3 of Cups. Lots of partying, lots of times with friends, maybe this is where you meet an ex, like maybe you're at a friend's place or you're going back home or somewhere that you both like, and suddenly somebody from your past pops up, because I keep seeing that. Ironically, both the 3 and 6 of Cups can talk about the past. Gosh, I really hope somebody's mom isn't inviting an ex to something. That's for sure. That'd be weird. We have the 4 of Cups, contemplation and reevaluation. I feel like this is a whole story. There's a lot of emotions. For those of you in relationships, this will stir up a lot of emotions. So do be careful with you and your partner that you're not, that you're not locking each other out if you have a tendency to do that from your feelings, like your respective feelings too. Don't be afraid to have the conversation. We have the 7 of Wands. Yeah, because there's a defensiveness here. It's like, you know, when you ask your partner, it's like, hey, are you okay? How are you feeling? And they're like, oh, I'm fine. But you know, things aren't fine. That's what I'm seeing. Like something happens, an event. Maybe it's for some of you, I do get like a little bit of a wedding vibe with the 6 and 3 of Cups. That's a party, like a family party, or even a reunion or whatever, some event. You see certain people, it ruffles you. If it's not a person from your past, this could be somebody saying something. But because these are all emotion cards, I do feel like you're going to be internalizing this more than anything. So it may not be something that pops up right there on the surface. However, with the 7 of Wands, it's like you become more defensive the more you let it linger within you. I do feel like it's either something somebody said or something somebody does that kind of puts you or your partner a little bit either on edge or like in different, you become different wavelengths. So sometimes I see this as like, you know, like the family of one partner saying something and the other one either not standing up for them or, I don't know, maybe agreeing or something. It's something like that where you feel a little bit alienated because it's like all this Cups energy is making you marinate and it stews into anger. And it's kind of like, you know what they did wasn't okay. But I feel like some of you are going to be, because the 7 of Wands can sometimes be confrontation, but I don't see that as a bad thing. It can be like, you don't know how to bring this up, or if it is like a repeated pattern within your relationship, maybe you know that if you bring it up, it may or may not change, but do be careful with your partner here because I do see things getting a little emotionally tense after a specific event. Like it's happy on the surface, but then like once you guys go home, it's like, I don't know if that was handled well. So I am seeing a little bit of conflict, but if your connection is strong, this is nothing you should worry about. If it's not too strong, it's something to take care of, to handle with care. So pile 5. Let's get a connecting card for the both of you. Something for both my singles and people in relationships. We have the Empress. Beautiful feminine energy. Mothering energy could be important here as well. Specifically the feminine, or whoever identifies more as the feminine within this connection, could be brought to the surface, as in they're the one in the spotlight. For those of you who are single, this is Spirit asking you to tap into your feminine energy a little bit more than usual. So definitely allow things to come to you. I do this little exercise with myself where I just wait for things to come to me. Like whenever I'm somewhere and I go and get something, I'm like, oh, you got to stop. You're being in your masculine energy. Just wait here and let these people come to you to do the thing. Let them, you know, approach you, let them. And it's so hard for me because I have Mars on my ascendant. That's a difficult placement for somebody who likes to stay put, or who doesn't like to stay put, or yeah, I don't know how to stay put. Ask anyone who knows me. But it's definitely asking you to be in feminine energy. Let things come to you. Let things happen for you. Happen, maybe not. Sorry for the cut, pile 5, but I was done with my Empress card and then I picked your 2 question cards for my relationship question deck. And the first one that came out is divorce ever an option? And I feel like that's only going to be relevant to some of you. Of course, if you know who you are, then you know who you are. But this is also asking you how divorce has impacted the way you view relationships, the way you view love in general. For those of you for whom this ex that might be coming back around is an ex-spouse, I feel like you might have to ask yourself how that has impacted you and whether you would ever repeat that cycle again. And I feel like there's no right or wrong answer. This is something you can only answer yourself here. And then the second card, I picked another one because I didn't like this card because I knew for some of you this was going to be irrelevant. It's like, divorce, what? I've never been married. So for the second one, we have, how do we create space for holding difficult conversations? And regardless of whether you identify as single or in a relationship, I feel like there's difficult conversations coming up in terms of love, in terms of relationships, of compatibility, and anything else in between here. Because I was getting this feeling that there's something lurking here that a lot of you have been needing to get off your chest, conversations that have been needing to be had. And even as I say this, like my throat chakra keeps like constricting and getting scratchy. It did that the same time, the first time I did this, which is kind of weird. The fact that every time I bring it up, it keeps doing that. For a lot of you, don't be afraid of difficult conversations. They don't have to end badly. Difficult conversations can be small little storms that clear up into a beautiful day. But this is where I leave it, my beautiful pile 5. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I am sending you so much love. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.